Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Anime Podcasters. Today, we are thinking, we are tanking, we are creating anime moves, superpowers that will apply to any anime series of our desire. Today, I am joined with the most heroic of anime co-hosts, Hotshot Ginger. How's it going?
Plus, hi, I'm good.
And also, I have my provincial counterpart, a video game expert at Pokemon and Zelda, has the capacity of naming any Rasengan incorrectly. No. RG, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing well, and I have other quality than living in the same province as you,
You really don't.
Yes. Oh, no. Oh, too early for the shots. I'm so happy. Today, we're doing a think tank episode for the people who do not know what a think tank is. You just explained it to RG so well, Hotshot, so I'm going to give you that nice anime podcaster's carpet. Please, what is a think tank? And what is this think tank for superpowers today?
Think tanks in general are our spins on coming up with something in an anime universe. Usually, we pick a universe ahead of time and make something that's associated with it. We've done one with Yu-Gi-Oh cards. We've done one with Pokemon. We've done one for Dragon Ball moves. This one, we are just making moves, just random moves that could be in any kind of anime. We've all probably thought of one or two that when we were coming up with them that we'd like to see it in, and that's pretty much what we're going to be doing today. I think the last time we did this was with Devil Fruits for One Piece.
I believe that is correct. So basically, guys, we about to get real creative up in here. RG, before we get to the actual picks, we have two each. What went into your creations? Like, what were the factors at play? What did you decide was going to influence you?
Well, I would say the things that influenced the most my choice was this website that is called ChatGPT. And no, I'm just joking. Well, Jaian, I never told you this about me, but I spend a lot of time in my head. And since I watch a lot of anime, I like to think of myself being in this anime. So then I just took one of the 1,000 times that I thought about being in an anime, and I just took two of these powers and put it inside of this think tank. And that's it. Amazing.
I love it, man. Honestly, the simplest path sometimes is just the best path. And it sounds like you just did what you naturally do. What about you, Hotshot? Outside of your plus ultra awesomeness, what were the factors at play for you?
Before I get into that, honestly, RG, if you did use ChatGPT for this entire episode just for your picks, I would have had nothing but respect for it.
No, I do not use ChatGPT, Mr. Hotshot.
We know Jaden is the resident expert on that one.
I just want to say this was recorded, and I never said it to RG because you weren't on the last recording of our Koala cast, but I used ChatGPT, and we said that basically ChatGPT hosted the whole podcast, and we decided to call it, are you ready for this, RG? Chat RGPT.
Oh my God. Jaian, the next time you have an idea, don't.
That's what I've been telling him for years.
And yet we're still rolling on this show. Anyways, Hotshot, what were the factors at play for you?
What went into mind? Inspiration from video games, really, for a lot of both of them. One was a twist on a skill that I've always had admiration for, and one was a skill that just kind of amazed me in a way, and we'll get to that when we get there. Yes,
absolutely. For myself, honestly, one of them is very Dragon Ball-esque. One of them is more Naruto-esque, and the other one is RG and Hotshot's brainchild of hilariousness.
So it belongs in One Piece.
Honestly,
oh no,
maybe. Okay. Does anyone want to break the ice I think either Hotshot or myself should, just because we can give RG a bit of a look of how it's done. Hotshot, you know what? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first? I'm giving you the think tank power.
I introed it. I'll go first.
Go for it, buddy.
All right, so I am going to read a bit of the description that I read because we wrote these down a few weeks ago at this point, if not longer. So bear with me.
Yeah, of course.
So the first one I'm doing is, it's called Personal Forge. This is the one that I thought was actually a really cool power. This is the power to pull and or summon any kind of weapon like a sword, axe, daggers, and the like based on the user's imagination. So kind of like a Green Lantern's ring, just imagine it and you can pull it out of you. You can even imbue them with the power of fire and lava, because that's what you use in an actual forge, is very hot, steaming metal.
Right.
In order to execute it, the user thinks of what they would like to summon and pull out of a lava-like pool that appears on their chest, hand, back, or any other part of their body, really. Like, you can pull a dagger out of your thigh, you can pull an axe out of your chest, you can pull an arrow out of your head. Pulling it back for battle, and it was, like I said, it was inspired by Green Lantern and Urza Scarlet.
Okay, got it. First question for me. The arrow, was it already there? Are you removing the arrow you received to the head, or are you just pulling an arrow from your head?
You're pulling an arrow from your head. Like, you're imagining the weapon, how you want to infuse it and how you want to use it, and you are pulling it out of you. It's kind of like... I know I said it's like Green Arrow and Urza, or Green Lantern and Urza, but it's more so like Momo, but it's inspired specifically for weapons.
Okay. And in terms of like limitations, can you just spam weapons with this thing? Like, is there like a cap, like a certain amount a day, or
how
like
big?
Maybe like every weapon you pull out like is like a slightly weaker than the last one?
I'm gonna say it depends. It depends on the user, and it also depends on like the time worth training and the time worth like utilizing this ability. So like when you start, like pulling out maybe 2 daggers could wear you out, but eventually you could get to the point of pulling out like a machine gun and you'll still be fine. Because
right.
you also have to do all like the ammo for it too. Basically, you can't pull out more than you can use at one time.
Absolutely. But the other thing I'm realizing with this technique, by the way, I love this technique. I think this, I'm not changing anything from it. I'm just trying to like contextualize it a bit more. I guess another limitation I'm thinking of is like if you were in, I don't know, Naruto, that's like more of a medieval thing, but like for some reason they have televisions. Don't ask me why, they just do. You couldn't like pull out like a machine gun because they usually fight with knives. You see what I mean? Or like in Avatar, you couldn't pull out like a sniper.
It depends on the world you live in. Like if it was Naruto,
exactly.
You'd probably end up pulling out like kunais and swords and ninja weapons. But if you live in the world of like My Hero Academia, you can make a tank.
Hotshot.
So
yeah, exactly.
It depends entirely on the world that you live in, on what this is used for. Like if this was in Yu-Gi-Oh, for instance, it would be fucking worthless.
but Jaian, you said you could not use a machine gun, but if it was in Naruto, how about a shuriken gun?
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah,
they also have those kunai blaster things. No, go ahead, please, Hotshot.
It depends on the user's creativity. So if the user can, in fact, come up with like a way to fire multiple shurikens at once, like RG said, the shuriken gun, if the user can imagine it and it's something that they can see being actually used, they can make it.
I have a question. If I have a gun and it launches a kunai, but they're attached with the paper that explodes, is it considered a shotgun?
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, my man, my American.
But I am gonna say the only material you can make is any kind of metal. Like you can make the metal sword, you can make a dagger, you can make shurikens, kunais, swords. But making like a specific item like a paper bomb that's made of paper with chakra infused in it, I imagine if they got hit by the forge, which is coming from you, keep in mind, it would immediately explode.
Right. I think the concept of like lava too for the forge, that's a really cool. How much were you inspired by like Dungeons and Dragons for this? Because I feel like there's a little bit of Dungeons and Dragons.
It's pretty heavy. It's it's a mix of Momo's quirk, which is one of my favorite quirks in My Hero Academia. I love the armor switch out magic with Urza. I don't like Green Lantern that much, but I do love the idea of a power coming from pure imagination and will. So that's kind of what drove this one.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
But I think about this. I was thinking about this power. It kind of has a little bit of a comedic twist to it, or because imagine you're fighting this guy and he just pulled a gun out of this butt or just out in the front of his pants, and he's just defeating you with it. I just imagine the guy's like you're fighting with him like in melee combat, and he just like go on top of you and he shoots you with a gun out of his butt. I think that'd be pretty funny.
That would be something else. I'll be honest, Archie. You're really creative for not being creative.
I'm good for a disrespect move.
Disrespect move. I honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with this one. I think this is a solid first start. RG, now that you've seen how it's done, do you want to go next or do you want me to go next? I'll let you.
Sure, I'll go next. I don't mind.
Okay, go ahead, buddy.
So for my pick, I gotta say, I put more time in trying to find the name of it than trying to find the actual power. So I call it Tarampu All In, which I don't remember. I think I Googled how to say a deck of card in Japanese, and I put some English words because that's all the power are made like that. So as you know, me and Hotshot, we like our overpowered characters. So I decided to create one that like you're gonna hate me. He doesn't have all the powers, but almost. So to restrict himself, and because he's overpowered, he used a deck of basic card of 52 cards, and when he fights an opponent, he how does he say that? He shake the cards, he mess with it, and then he pick a card, and then this card decide of which power is he gonna use with versus this opponent, and the lower the value of the card, the worse the power is. So that way he can it's kind of a challenge for him. Is it still too much information or?
Okay, yeah.
Oh.
No, I'm following.
All right.
I'm following.
So to give you an example, like if he picks like a really low card, for example, he would kind of use like martial art or like taijutsu-ish. And if you use like a really high card, you can use like godly powers, like he could summon weapon or godly beast, or he could like go to the speed of sound, like it just depends of everything. And to put a little bit of a Mob 100 vibe, if you pick the Joker, because the Joker is in a pack of card, maybe it's 53 card, not 52. With the Joker, he can like he takes out all the restriction and he can use like any power as he wish, and he's kind of like overpowered moment, you know.
Okay. I love it. I think using the deck of cards is a classic like anime I don't want to say trope, but like aesthetic. You know, you see deck of cards in anime all the time, so I feel like this would very easily fit into anime. And the overpoweredness of it, of like, you know, like clearly if this, I feel like the character would only have this one power, you know, like your powers would be available through all 52 cards. So walk me through this just so I understand properly. Let's say I'm this character and I pull, like, I'm in a fight and I pull the 8 of hearts. What happens?
Well, you put the 8 of hearts. Well, so it's 8. It's like a mid. It's like a mid number. You would get maybe the power of like the 4 elements. You get like an avatar kind of vibes, you know. But like if you would take a higher card, then you can go maybe to an atomic level power. Like I haven't figured out the 52 or the 53 powers, but that will go in that way.
So a couple things on that note, actually.
Yeah.
It is still a 52 deck. The Jokers are included in the 52.
I didn't know.
I will squash that right now.
Thank you, Hotshot.
And is Ace high or low in your eyes then? Because Ace can either be a really good card or a really bad card.
In my eyes, it's a low card. We like because it's a one. It's not like we're not in poker, you know.
Okay, well, you're objectively wrong, but that's not the point.
I agree with
In-
Hotshot on this one. But anyways.
A slight follow-up question. Are you, by any chance, a fan of Futurama?
A little bit.
Okay. The only reason I even bring it up is because it reminds me of one of the movies where it is a D&D adventure in Futurama.
What?
And Fry has a D20, and depending on the number rolled, grants him another power.
Huh.
So it does just remind me of that. I thought maybe that could have been an inspiration for you for it.
No, sadly, I didn't watch that much Futurama.
I do really like this power because I like the idea of using a deck of cards, especially to grant you powers. I will say it'd probably be either a time limit or consumable. Like say you have the two of spades and it gives you a really crappy power, but you have it for a long time. But meanwhile, you pull the king of spades and it gives you like one godly attack, and that's it.
Yeah, but in my mind, like the power, but the power is like already owned, so he can technically use it anytime he wants. But like he just put himself a restriction because he's an overpowered character and he has a lot of ego, you know.
Yeah, but even overpowered characters have even though they're not really the best at working, they still have quirks that hold them back from using their full power or like some kind of restraint other than just like, yeah, I'm not gonna.
Yeah, true. And also,
I have a question.
Of course.
Which one of these cards unlocks the ultimate power? Which one of these cards unlocks Shrek?
I mean, that would be the Joker, though, or the King, because those
Unlocking Shrek is
Really?
a Joker card.
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Yeah, and also I made the
was my
deck
only
of card is kind of indestructible because if you destroy the deck of card, then the whole character point is kind of gone.
I'd say pulling a king card would be kind of similar to Jaden. You remember in the One Punch game when you get to play as Saitama, and even though they're wailing on you, you're just slowly walking towards them, and one punch and you win. That's kind of the vibe that pulling a king card gives me.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Like, fair enough. I feel like a king card could be like an indestructible thing.
You summon
like
Saitama and he fights for you.
I love it. What anime is this in? Like, which character from which anime uses this? Like, is this a One Punch thing? I feel like this could be a One Punch.
Oh shit! I never
Anime,
answered mine
power.
either. I'll get to that after this.
Yeah, no stress.
I feel like it will not go in one of the big anime. I feel like that would be like in all the small isekai anime with a guy with the black hair that looks pretty weak, but at the end he's always super overpowered. That's the kind of anime that I have in mind, and that's also an isekai.
Okay, so an isekai power. And Hotshot, what would have been your anime for yours?
Funny enough, it's probably another isekai power, but I kind of see it. I kind of see it happening in like Konosuba, like someone just has forge magic.
Fair enough. I honestly pictured it in, and technically this anime is an isekai. I pictured it in Yu 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 Hakusho. I'll be honest.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. May I go to my first pick?
Of course.
sure.
Okay. This one is some straight up Dragon Ball Frieza's underling type of power. But like a valuable Frieza underling. Not a Saiyan, but like just under Saiyan. Like Frieza's gonna keep you around and not kill you. Okay?
Okay.
So, it is called planetary disappearance. It's a very subtle technique, and it has amazing destructive power beneath it. It's an attack that manipulates the core of any planet that the user is on. It causes it to eventually implode. So how does it work? The user, basically if you're on a planet, just by making physical contact with the planet, or a tree, or rocks, or a building, something attached to the planet, something that connects to the actual planet, right? So if you're in the air, not touching anything, you can't use this, okay? Once you make physical contact, you start channeling your energy directly into the core of the planet, all right? And you create like a barely perceptible disturbance in the gravitational field of the planet. And over time, the planet's like geological activity starts to slow. So no more volcano eruptions, no more earthquakes. The planet really calms down. And the user, once we get to that state, can decide to trigger the culmination of this technique, which is the planet imploding. And it can trigger it at any time they want. It could be the day after, the week after, the year after, the millennia after, whenever they want, obviously within their lifetime. And at that chosen moment, a very precise surge of energy disrupts the planet's core, and it causes it to implode and collapse on itself. So the thing I want to do with this is I want to attribute this to a specific race of fighters that's their only power. And the other thing I want to do is they can't just like go spam planets. Like if you channel your energy to one planet, your energy's there until you implode a planet, and then you can go on to the next one, because it would be way too OP if you just like could like spam touch every planet. You know what I mean? You could just be like, all right, bye Universe 7. Like, no. So that's the idea. It's called planetary disappearance, and it's I created it under like the Frieza Force kind of vibe. So yeah, there you go.
Okay, so a few notes.
Yes.
You did say that it takes time, like you're channeling your power into the core of the planet until it eventually calms down. Pardon me. At which point you can choose to continue the process and implode the planet. How long are we talking?
Once again, it depends on the experience. If you're like a custom fighter, you could do this within a day, or you can do this within an hour. If you're like a beginner, I'm gonna say it could take 1 or 2 weeks. You know, so that's the cool thing. You can like schedule out. So basically, if you're an experienced user of this technique, you could do this within an hour. You touch the planet, you get off the planet, an hour later, you can destroy it, right? If you're a beginner, it could take weeks, it could take months. And the more you use it, the more you get accustomed to it, the faster you can destroy planets. So it becomes a thing where you can schedule out your destructions, basically.
So this is also with the assumption that the user is strong enough to survive a planet imploding.
Well, no, because you get off the planet. You touch it, you get off.
Is there any way to counter this technique?
I guess not. It's a subtle thing. Maybe if you kill the guy before he does it.
Okay, but like you said, it's a subtle change. So how are they even supposed to know that the guy has done it?
Exactly. It's that's I OP'd it a little bit. That's why I made it so that you can only do one at a time. That was like my trade-off.
I think the caveat would be like, let's say, just because he's in my head, let's say you're fighting Goku and he slams you down into the ground and you start channeling your energy into the core. Goku is a fighter who can sense energy, so he should be able to sense.
Oh yeah, you could detect it. 100%. Yeah. Yes.
So he'll sense that your energy, like your personal energy, has dropped.
Yes. If you have like a strong key sense or anything like that, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Which case,
just the same way we're like, sorry, just to like go back to Goku. Like whenever you notice like Goku charging a spirit bomb and you feel that energy, it would be the same type of like sense. Like, oh wait, what's this thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then you could also fight someone as strong as Frieza, and he wouldn't know until it's too late. Like it totally depends on who you're fighting at that point.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
you can leave the planet if your energy's on it. There's no real way to counter it because no one actually knows you're casting it. And once you've casted it, it's done. Like that planet's going to explode.
Yeah, it does.
It's essentially the same as Death Ball, but it's more subtle.
Exactly. Yeah, in a sense.
I'm trying to think that this would just be a cut all losses and retreat kind of move, because obviously you're not going to use this in the middle of a fight, or try not to.
I mean, if you're crazy enough, you could.
Yeah, Frieza was crazy enough, so I can't really fault it.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I feel like we've gone over it. Let's
Okay.
Let's go over to your last pick, Hotshot. We're moving that fast.
We're moving that fast, but we've already been recording for half an hour.
In the edit, it's not been a half an hour. But anyways, go ahead.
Valid. All right, so the next one, this one is silly. This one I just made because it just seems fun, and the concept to it is just funny to me. This is called the cosmetic change. The user imagines how they would like themselves to look and can change their appearance at will. This is in no way to the actual power or abilities of either parties. It only changes how they look, aside from adding or taking away range, like your arms, basically, like making your arms longer or shorter. Anything from weight to height to sex to hair color and clothing and everything in between can be changed, like a custom character in an RPG game. So when you're making a character in certain games, like say Fallout or a typical RPG, where you can create your character from like different presets or hairstyles and things of that nature. It's basically taking that concept to you can do this at will, but it in no way actually changes what you can actually do. It's literally only to change how you look, which some people do have that, and I will admit that. Like Mystique from X-Men, she is one, but she can also copy other people's abilities to a certain degree. This one, you absolutely cannot. It is just you are a human person, and you just look like that other thing.
Right. So, isn't this just like a transformation technique from Naruto?
Kinda, yeah. But see, this is why I said this one was just funny, and then I thought about it. The user must have their hands on any body part that they want to change upon being on their head. Okay, that wasn't even asked. I'll get to that later. It more or less is another transformation technique, and I do admit that in the hindsight. It's just one of the funniest concepts in video games to me is the fact that, like, if you're in a create your character screen and there's people around you, they are just seeing all these different transformations happen at once. And some people can spend like hours creating their characters. So all the NPCs are just staring at you as you just change everything from your race to your sex to your hair to... It's kind of a nightmare to watch.
It's like when in GTA when you walk in to get a haircut and your hair grows out instead.
Kinda. That's why I said it's like an at-will thing. Like, imagine you have a slider in front of you that says hair, and as you move the dial, it just changes your hair from like... One is at bald, next is a mohawk, third is an afro, and it just like keeps changing like instantly. It's an instant change. But you have to do it like part by part.
Right. Absolutely. Listen, I think I get it, but I feel like it's so like this is it's like I to me I all I can think of is the Naruto transformation. Just
I get it. And like I said, I haven't thought about these for a few weeks, if not a couple months. So I kind of forgot to fine tune it. Like, I know the idea I had in my head, but now that I'm saying it out loud, yeah, it's just a basic transformation technique.
Yeah. Not as good as your last one. Your last one was I'm more fond of. But anyways, enough of my opinion. RG, what do you think?
I think it sound. I was really thinking of. I forgot the name. A video you mentioned earlier, Hotshot. It really made me thought of the blue character in X-Men.
Mystique.
Yeah, Mystique. Because I was like, okay, you can change at any time, and you will.
Yeah, basically.
So, in which situation do you like? Except like for infiltration and for spying, in which situation would you think that would be useful, Hotshot?
When styles change. Like, basically, if you want to keep up with the new fads, you can. That kind of thing. The only thing that really makes mine different is, like in a video game, you have to change your parts one at a time, or it's a whole different preset. So, like, if you have your hand on your head, and let's say you have, like, short black hair, you can change your hair to, like, long and green if you wanted to.
Okay.
But then you have to touch like your chest if you want to change like the dimensions of your actual body. Like, you have to touch where you actually want to change.
Okay. So let's say that you change your body to be a female or an animal. Does it mean that because you have the body part of a female or animal, it change how your brain works and it can affect you in some ways, for example?
So animal transformations can happen. It is strictly for humanoids. Changing your brain, no, because in games you are your player character. You play how you want to play, and your appearance does not change that in the slightest. The biggest change that you can probably make that actually has a long-lasting effect would be your sex.
Neat.
Okay. Interesting. Was there anything else to add, or should we go to RG's next pick?
I think I'm done unless you guys had any other questions.
I'm good.
No question, but the only comments I was asking if I don't know if you heard of this anime. It's called. I think it's like my. It's something about like my uncle got isekai. 'Cause of course, it's an isekai, and he had this power of also changing his body to the one of another person. But he was saying that it was extremely dangerous, since if you stay too long as this person, you start becoming this person. So that's as what. This is why I was asking you.
Gotcha. But that's also like transferring over to another body,
Yeah, yeah.
like almost a possession.
Exactly.
So this is just you changing how you look. That is the core aspect of it.
I see. Perfect. So we're gonna go with my next pick, Mr. Jaian.
Yep.
Yes.
All
go
right.
ahead.
I really like this one. I call it a reversio, and you copy the inverse power of your enemy. So let's say that somebody use water as a power, then you use fire as a, you gain the ability to use fire. And if somebody use mind control, you get body control. So you always get the inverse power of your enemy, and you have no power until your enemy use an ability. And also you have a max range.
Okay, this is really cool. I'm sorry. I'm so excited with questions. Please finish.
Oh yeah, I was just like, I put a max range of like 500 meters, but and that's it for the restriction.
Okay, so I'm gonna rapid fire a bunch of powers, and you're gonna tell me what the opposite would be. Okay?
No,
You ready?
I am not.
You did
ready?
walk into this, RG. This
ready?
is entirely your fault.
You
Yeah,
ready?
go ahead.
In 5,
Chat
4,
GPT, please.
3, 2, 1. Crazy amounts of eating. What's the opposite?
Starving.
Flying.
Gravity.
Swimming.
Oh my god, what's the inverse of swimming?
Drowning?
Yeah, it's not technically. You can go inside of the water, and
I got
you can
you.
breathe underwater.
That's already swimming.
But it's not inverse to swimming, like swimming on your back.
Okay,
But swimming is not
okay.
a power.
I would have
got
said
more.
like
Rasengan.
skating.
Oh, sure, true.
Rasengan.
Shidori.
Chidori.
Lightning.
Well, lightning is electricity. I would say nuclear. Sounds.
How is that the opposite?
I don't know. That sounds cool.
That makes
You're
no
gonna
sense.
okay. You rub your feet on carpet and give me a static shock. Okay, I'm gonna drop a nuke on your house.
I guess maybe the power could be salt, because salt, like, it's something that stops electricity. I don't know. But it.
Earth,
What about healing?
Earth, buddy, Earth.
But this is what it's kind of is fun.
The opposite of electricity is grounding something. So use ground.
Well, maybe it's probably ground. But this is what. But when I thought of this power, I never thought of it as a crazy power to fight. It's more of a power for a comedy anime, because even the main character doesn't know what power is gonna get from somebody whose superpower is like lightning or something.
I thought you were going to say when you were creating this power, you didn't expect Jaian to give you numerous powers to counter. And I would have just responded, you work on anime podcasters, you have to anticipate Jaian. That is the only way you will make it.
Well, I know he was gonna like
But
this
the
power.
thing is, imagine if you're in a fight and you use this technique, but you don't know what to expect the opposite is.
Yeah, but
Yeah, the guy has water.
Like-
the enemy has water, and then now all of a sudden you have fire. You're screwed.
Yeah, he's like, now you're gonna put out all my techniques. Or
Unless you're smart, because then you could turn the water that he has to steam, and then you could just punch him in the face.
I'm just saying we're opening a can of worms with this one.
You basically made Uno reverse the power.
but
Yeah, Uno reverse the power. What if you get like a ticket? Does that mean like the cop pays the ticket for you?
but it's not a power. It's not like everything that happens
not a
to you.
power.
It's inverse. Like swimming. Swimming is not a power, Jaian.
The power of responsibility.
I know, Jaian.
Swimming is a power. Someone in One Piece can swim through solid rock. It is a power.
Yes, it's a power to swim through rocks, not to swim in general. I'm sorry, Jaian, you didn't learn how to swim.
I know. I'm a better swimmer than you, bro.
I don't know how to swim.
I know how to. I know.
Oh, damn. We just got real deep.
Really.
We just got deep. Okay, I'm going to go to my next technique before we drown into this.
No, we can't go real deep. I don't want to drown.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so my next technique is from one Shikamaru inspiration. However, with a twist. It's called Shadow Warp. It's a mysterious teleportation technique that basically allows the user to meld in with their own shadow, becoming one with the darkness, and re-emerging from any shadow within a certain radius. So this technique basically grants them unparalleled mobility and stealth and surprise advantages, obviously. How do you execute it? Great question, Hotshot. The user begins by concentrating their energy and stepping into their own shadow, effectively merging their physical form with the darkness that it's cast, right? And then from within the shadow, the users can choose to re-emerge in any nearby shadow. And then when they re-emerge, the user can choose their orientation and position, allowing them to appear above, below, left, right, the target, and you can ambush them any way you want. And so this is both an offensive and defensive technique. So it's super versatile. It's essentially shadow teleportation, to put it really simply. RG, what would be the opposite of this technique?
Taking the bus.
Blinding light.
Light. Thank you.
But yeah, what do you think? What do you think, RG? What do you think of
it would be light restraining. Oh. Thank you, Hotshot.
But the thing is, you could actually not use the one thing too to know this technique. You could not use at night. There's no shadows at night.
Isn't it everything shadow at night?
No, because Shikamaru. I'm basing this off of Shikamaru. Shikamaru cannot use shadow position during the night.
Damn.
So you couldn't use.
So half of the day, he's like useless.
Yeah, bro. You know I'm gonna nerf myself a little bit here. I'm not gonna OP everything. But yeah,
you
okay.
literally
RG,
made you can implode a planet by touching it.
Hey, counterbalance, bro. Counterbalance. That was one pick. We're in the future now.
So you can shadow warp in Mortal Kombat.
Is that a thing?
That is.
Really? I did not know. Is it the exact same thing I described?
Not the exact same thing, but one specific character can manipulate his shadow into basically a second fighter, and you can disappear into your shadow with him. And
then reappear in another shadow?
Yes.
Okay. Well, you couldn't make a second fighter. This is just like basically wherever your enemies stand, you can ambush them. It's like a movement technique. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I get it, and I do respect it. I love stealth techniques like disappearing and reappearing in the blink of an eye. I love stuff like that. I don't really have any qualms with this power. The only thing that I was going to say is it reminds me of Noob Saibot from Mortal Kombat.
Wow.
Fair enough.
I'm just going to say also like Hotshot. This is a power that is like not extremely common, but it's kind of common a little bit because I'm like, it reminds me of 2 or 3 people that has this power, like in Trinity 7 and then like some other anime, but like, hey, you try your best, and that's what's matter, Jaian.
It's fair enough because I haven't seen any of these anime. So to me, I really wanted to combine like space-time ninjutsu with shadows. That was the inspiration of it. And I wanted to nerf it where like you can't use it at night and it's within a certain radius. So yeah, I feel like this could be a cool ninja technique. I see this within Naruto. Basically. Yeah,
it is a different teleportation technique. It just relies on shadows more than it does like, oh, I see a spot over there. Poof, now I'm over here.
Yeah, exactly. Literally exactly that. If there's nothing else to say about this technique, I think I'm ready to go to my honorable mention.
I mean, yeah, and I'm good. RG, you good?
I am perfectly good.
This next technique, no thought was put into this. This is
cool.
Some Mario Kart levels spam technique. It's called banana peel slipstream. Okay? And it involves summoning an infinite supply of banana peels and using them to create chaotic and hilarious situations. This is straight up some SpongeBob level power, okay? How does it work? Great question, RG. The user starts by reaching into an imaginary pocket. They pull out a banana peel and toss it onto the ground. And instead of landing flat, the banana peel unravels into an impossibly long and winding strip. The banana peel strip takes on a life of its own, slithering across the battlefield. Okay? Now, RG, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor here.
Okay.
I want you to read word for word the last point that I wrote down on the execution. Right after the banana peel strip takes on a life of its own, slithering across the battlefield. I want you to read this for me. What's the next paragraph say?
Anyone who steps on or near the banana peel strips is immediately subjected to slapstick-style chaos. They slip, slide, and tumbles uncontrollably and are forced to listen to RJ's explaining why he does not want to play Pokemon on Game Boy. And he named every type of Rasengan. Ha, ha, ha. You know April Fools when it's in April, Jaian. Very funny.
You know, RG, it's actually kind of refreshing because we brought up one thing a long time ago that Jaian had a distaste for a character named Blackstar, and it was a meme on the channel for years because of
And something had to replace it.
Because I said it one time, and now you're the new scapegoat for memes. So thank you for taking that burden off me.
For me, it's the fact that this paragraph has been on the Google document for like 2 months, and he never read it once. And I got him to read it himself. I'm so happy that happened. Because RG explaining how to not play Pokemon and how to use Cut, and RG explaining Rasengans has cured so much of my depression in the last few months. I don't think you guys understand how much I love those 2 moments. I love this man so much, and he is worthy of being a part of my superpower. You are an anime character, RG. You are anime standard, in my opinion.
Sure, he's been here for like 15 episodes, and he's an anime character just like that. Where's mine?
Bro, you're an 80s anime hotshot. What are you talking about? I was literally putting you in the thumbnails and everything. You're more anime than ever.
Okay, I just wanted to be included.
Hey, there's your slice of inclusion.
Good.
So, RG, what do you think? What do you think about that? I feel that last part can be very dangerous for the mental of the.
I feel like the opener would just be confused because he would be like, who the hell is RG?
Why we're talking about Pokemon and why do I care about Rasengans?
You imagine a guy like it doesn't have any technology. He's like, what is a Pokemon?
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm gonna sum up the picks. We had from myself, Shadow Warp, Planetary Disappearance, and Banana Peel Slipstream. And then we have Personal Forge from Hotshot, and we have Cosmetic Change from Hotshot. And then from RG, we had Reversio and Torampu All In. So for myself...
Hold up. Before we wrap up with the outro here, what were your guys' favorite powers that was brought up today?
Banana Slipstream. What do you mean? How's that even a question?
Yeah, I had a feeling that'd be you.
Mine will be Reversio, because I thought of it in 2 minutes, and that's the proof that the less time you put into something, the better the idea. Because when you think too much about it, you end up with stupid power like the one that Jaian created.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
What do you mean? My power is amazing.
Yeah, I wish I had a power to cut your microphone. Let's just say that.
I'm gonna be the only. I'm
the power of audio editing.
I'm going to be the outlier and be the only one who didn't pick my own power. I'm going to pick All In. I love the idea of using cards to get powers.
That's actually a really cool one. But you know what's crazy about this is like I can have a power that literally destroys planets, but it's still not as like destructive as listening to RG talking about Rasengans.
That's true. Yep.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and wrap this up, dude.
All right. For myself, Hotshot, and Chat RGPT, this has been another episode of
Anime Podcasters.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
No way you cracked it! Oh, I gotta cut my recording.
Hey guys, Hotshot here. Thanks so much for listening to this episode of Anime Podcasters. We have over 100 other episodes for your entertainment found wherever podcasts are available, such as Spotify. We also release new episodes twice a month, so keep an ear out for us. You can follow the podcast at Anime Podcasters on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Jaian Music's YouTube channel. Jaian himself can be found on social media at Jaian Music, as well as his own website, jaianmusic.com. Kyo, our artist for the podcast, can be found on Twitter and YouTube at GoProKyo, as well as his website, ccartgalleryportfolio.com. As for me, Hotshot, you can find me on YouTube and Twitter at HotshotGinger. As always, guys, thanks for listening to us. Hope to talk to you soon. Take care.